Hey everyone, it's Mace1370. I have a pretty amazing RTA game to go over today. Before we get into it though, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please check the video description below for a link to my Discord. Alrighty, so featuring a legend game here against Bendwar1. I pre-banned F10 because she is super oppressive, and I feel like I just can't not ban her. Opponent pre-bans Arbiter Vildred. I take Falconer Clury, who I think is a really strong first pick right now in the meta, for a couple reasons. One, you can build her really fast, so you're taking a fast speed unit to secure turn 1 right out the gate, and potentially prevent your opponent from playing the speed game. And then two, she's kind of a tank buster unit, so she beats the slow tanky teams also. Her one weakness is Spectenny, or one of her weaknesses I guess I should say is Spectenny. So you can see that Bendwar picked Spectenny and then Fallen Cecilia to protect her. I take ML Tywin and Basar here because both Spectenny and Fallen Cecilia are weak to Basar. He strips away the shields, prevents Spectenny from having immunity, etc., and can potentially stun her, give her hit down, and then prevent Fallen Cecilia from keeping her protected with the buff block, and then Tywin can put slow and stun on Spectenny and just completely lock her out of the game, essentially. And so I think that's a pretty strong combo into those two. I've seen a lot of people picking Basar and Viseria these days. They're both really popular picks in this meta because, buff block is just such a super strong oppressive debuff. It shuts down a lot of units. So here you can see that Bendwar takes Last Rider Crow, and that's still weak into Basar. And that's good for me because he's taking units that are weak into units that I've already picked. And that will pay off towards the end of the draft when you can take things that he won't have picks left to counter back. So he also takes Kitty Clarissa. This is another unit I've seen some people building up recently. I think that because debuffers are becoming so prevalent, people are trying to build as many answers to them as possible. Kitty Clarissa is definitely a reasonable choice. She can be built with really high effect resistance thanks to Strack Gauntlet, the artifact for warriors. It gives them like 65 FRES or something crazy like that. So you can use that to kind of cheat stats on her and then build a ton of speed into her as well. So she can be a really fast unit that can wipe debuffs off your team. I think it's hard to give her all that stuff and then also make her tanky, so she can be a bit of a one-trick wonder. She does have dual attack on her S1, so she can pull in, kind of like Adventurer Ras or Lilius. She can pull in heroes from your team to attack, so I think she's a decent unit right now in the meta, actually. I take Landy because I wanted to have AoE to reach Spectenny, and Last Rider Crow also provides buffs. At this point, I kind of assumed my Basar was going to get banned, and I figured Landy would, potentially give me some reach. And then I took a Ravi because he took Last Rider Crow, and I think a Ravi is just a really strong unit into Last Rider Crow. Kitty does have Unhealable, which is potentially a problem for me. It could prevent my Ravi from healing up with her S1, in Sigurd's Scythe, so that could be bad. I'm debating about who I want to ban here. I think it's a tough choice. I think I decided to go Spectenny, but I definitely debated about banning out Kitty as well. I decided to go Spectenny here because I felt like I just didn't quite have the reach to kill her in time and that she could cause problems for me. Maybe if I had taken a really strong AoE unit last as well, I might have been able to leave her in, but as it is, I left in the Kitty. Thinking my Basar might get banned, but he left the Basar and he ended up banning the Tywin instead. So I think that was like a reasonable choice for him. If Tywin got his S3 off, that can be pretty crippling. So here we have to deal with T-Surin as well, who is strong into debuffs. The one weakness I should say on my team is that I don't have anybody to give Landy shields, so she'll be pretty easy to knock out of stealth. Unfortunately, I did not get the defense break on Ras. I believe the way Kitty Clarissa works is that she cleanses 2 debuffs off of her allies, so I was hoping to get 3 onto Last Rider Crow there, and just fingers crossed that the provoke, doesn't get cleansed off, but it was kind of irrelevant because he 15% of the def break, which is, what happens when you play with Flurry. So you can see the loveliness buff there on Kitty Clarissa. It's very cute and adorable. That means that on her S1 she will dual attack now. I decided just to go into Kitty Clarissa because I figure she's squishy. I mean, she's level 50, so I figure she's not going to be as tanky as either, you know, Crow or FCC, obviously. And it would be a huge pain to try to kill T-Surin through FCC shields, so I opt just to ignore her for now. And you can see she does quite a bit of damage there, chunking my Basar below half health, putting buff block and silence on a few heroes and silence on Landy, who failed to proc Guiding Light. She would have been knocked out there anyways by the T-Surin, but she would have taken less damage. It is maxed, by the way. So Landy gets attacked by FCC. I get a 15% of my own to prevent the provoke. And here comes Crow with his S3. So my Landy is pretty deado, and things are looking fairly grim. Basar did manage to hold on there with a whopping 287 HP.
Prepare yourselves.
So he put a big shield onto Kitty Clarissa. I wasn't able to finish her off. I decided just to keep going into her. Since she is the squishiest target, I just want to take heroes off of his side of the board as fast as I can. Almost finished her off there. Very unfortunate, considering that she'll be able to use her skill 2 now, which is going to be real bad news for me. So there's the skill 2, and you can see unhealable on my team, most notably on the Ravi and the Falconer Clury, but on Landy too. Didn't land on Basar, who is somehow still alive. I'm not sure how. Alright, and then down goes Landy, who failed to proc her Guiding Light a second time. So Landy is the new Rylet, you heard it here first. Alright, so going into Crow now that the Kitty Clarissa is down. I want to take him out next because I felt that I didn't want him to get around to his skill 3 again. I think it would have been reasonable to go after FCC as well. I might also just bounce back and forth between them so that I'm not hitting the shield. Unfortunately, I won't be able to get buff block from Basar.
Got it, Flurry. Just like we practiced.
I could dispel the shield here with Falconer Clury. I was just checking skills. So it looks like I decided to go into the FCC. I don't know if there's a right answer here in terms of who to go into. Oh, that's right. I think I went into her because I didn't want her to use her skill 3 to put up skill null. But I got 15%ed again, and then the opponent procs Gab. And almost finishes off the Ravi, who's now in a very precarious position because she still has heal block. So here I think I'm forced to use my skill 3. My only hope... Oh wait, no, I guess I skill 1. Okay, I thought I was going to skill 3 there to try to... I guess I couldn't heal up. Oh, that's right, FCC still has immunity. So yeah, that's right, I wanted to lap around with Ravi and then use skill 3 to be able to stun the team and heal back up. I did get a lucky stun on Crow. And then Falconer Clury pushes up the Ravi. So these two have good synergy. You know, Clury heals every time she goes around. She can occasionally push Ravi up. Ravi can stun, giving you even more control. So here I just pop off the S3, even though it's going to proc all of Crow's shields. I wanted the big heal and I wanted the stuns to try to get back into the game. Now that Kitty Clarissa is down, I don't have to worry about heal block anymore. And I think at this point I've turned the tides. I just, you know, have to fingers crossed that T-Surin doesn't gab again. I do have my souls so that I can soul burn with Ravi if I want to. I could also soul burn with Falconer Clury. Soul burning on Ravi is going to do a big chunk of damage and just ensure that I finish off somebody. So I go ahead and I do that here to take out Crow. So he's down, and that heals my Ravi mostly up to full. So he goes into the tank to decide what he wants to do. He soul burns to skill 3. He didn't gab. I think if he had gabbed there, that might have been game, because he did soul burn. So soul burn gab might have killed my Ravi, which is pretty impressive. Like, that T-Surin has a lot of damage on it. So I go ahead and skill 3, and that's game. Thanks for watching.